Hi, my name is Craig Smith. I am running for a re-election for the Williams Lake City Council. And when I first became a councillor, I ran on a platform of putting Lake back into Williams Lake. For one, cutting red tape, increasing relations with our Indigenous neighbours. In the last 4 years, and I now see why they changed the election time from 3 years to 4 years, because there are projects that we started within months after being elected that took 3.5 to 4 years before they came to fruition. Some of them are just happening now. One of the projects that I was personally proud of is I took a bylaw that for the development cost charges that technically is supposed to be rewritten every 5 years, and it's under a provincial statute. It hadn't been touched for 20 years, and because of that, there was $1.5 million in a reserve account that the city actually couldn't access for any projects. It took 3.5 years for us to roll through all the steps that made this money accessible. Over the last 3 years, we've been negotiating, trying to get the walking trails all connected, and the negotiations were with BC Rail. And if you see the news the last couple of weeks, you'll see that we actually have now acquired the RC Cotton site so that we can continue a trail around that property and into Scout Island. I'm asking for your vote and looking to be re-elected because I still feel that there's work for me to do. There are a lot of uncertainties in the last little while. This council has worked really, really well as a team. It has, we've had disagreements, we've had debates, but we've done a lot of work, a lot of good work in the last 4 years, and I would like to continue that. Thank you. I'm 100% behind collaboration with the Indigenous communities in the area. In order for our community to survive, we have to create partnerships with all of the communities around us. We've done that. Actually, we've done groundbreaking work with the community forest, which we are partners with the Williams Lake Indian Band. And I look forward to more partnerships and agreements with our Indigenous neighbors in the future. As a member of the Finance Committee for the last 4 years, we've had to sit and make some very, very hard decisions as to how to actually balance our budget, how to keep the taxes low, and how to not reduce any services whatsoever. One of the first things that we did was we eliminated, in partnership with Human Resources, 10 positions that were well over $1 million worth of savings. We have had 3 years of 0% tax increases, and last year we increased 2%, and it was to add more to our paving around the city. So it's a balancing act, and you have to look at all aspects, but you can't reduce the services. So we are looking at anything we possibly can to balance those two things. Early last year, the Director of Development Services and myself went and took a workshop with as far as legislating cannabis. One of the speakers was from the city of Calgary as an economist, and went through all the social costs that would happen with this new legislation. There are going to be some social costs. Talking to the provincial government at the last UBCM, the Minister of Finance said there would be no funds available from the tax revenue for a minimum of 2 years. One of the things that I put forward is that in order to be able to have some funds for social programs was to increase the business license fees. So I think that in the next little while, it's going to be, we're going into a zone nobody knows, and there are going to be some social costs. And part of that we're going to have to deal with in the way of maybe fee-for-service for nonprofits or grant and aids. But we will look at it and we'll deal with it as it happens. I think as far as fire safe go, we've made some steps in that regard. And some of them are actually thinking out of the box, even to the point where one of the developers has brought cows in to eat the grass down in areas that could be affected by grass fires near some of the populated areas. I'm really excited that our new fire chief has a horrendous amount of experience in this type of work, and council would, the next council should work very close with him, and the grants that are going to be available for wildfire mitigation. And I think the biggest, not problem, but the biggest thing that needs to happen in the next 4 years is communication. We need to communicate to the people living in Williams Lake what they need to do to be fire smart and what's available as far as funding for them to help them with that.